जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। जमुना तीरा वनचारी। जमुना तीरा वनचारी। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। जमुना तीरा वनचारी। जमुना तीरा वनचारी। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जयो राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ राधे। जयो राधे जयो राधे जयो राधे जयो श्री राधे जय गौरान्विताय 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 जय गौरान्विताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः नमो पंकजनाभाय नमो पंकजमालिने नमो पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रये। हरे कृष्णा। Hare Krishna. So very happy and grateful to be here again amidst all the wonderful, enthusiastic Margaon devotees. So very soon, almost 14 days from now, Shri Krishna Janmashtami is coming. So in order to prepare our mood for Krishna Janmashtami, the birth of Lord Krishna, today I thought we will discuss from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which contains Krishna Leela, chapter 1, which is called the Advent of Lord Krishna. So today I would like to present to you all the verses of the 10th canto, first chapter, and then we will try to understand what is the message for all of us. So Krishna Leela, the storyline is also there. Along with that, there are a lot of lessons that we can learn as sadhakas for all of us. If we want to give birth to Krishna in our life, ultimately the purpose of Janmashtami is that Krishna should be born in our lives. So understanding this particular chapter, understanding the mood of Devaki and Vasudev is very, very important. So let us try to enter into Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 1. Shri Raja Uvacha Katito Vamsha Vistaro Bhavata Soma Suryayo Ragyam Chobaya Vamshyanam Charitam Paramadbhutam. So the 10th canto, chapter 1, verse 1 begins with Parikshit Maharaj telling Shukdev Goswami, my dear Shukdev Goswami, till now you have explained in detail the kings in the solar dynasty and the lunar dynasty. So there are two Kshatriya lineages, one coming from the sun, Surya Bhagavan, and one coming from Chandra. Just like Lord Ramachandra, he was born in Surya Vamsha, and Lord Krishna was born in Chandra Vamsha. So this is the starting of the 10th canto. 9 cantos, the first 9 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam is basically description of the kings of the sun dynasty and the kings of the moon dynasty. This is what the full 9 cantos is about. So till here, Parikshit Maharaj has been very attentively hearing all about all these great kings. So one may wonder, what is the need to hear about all these great kings? Because all these great kings were Raja Rishis. Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, when the king, who's a representative of all humanity, he takes up to the process of Krishna consciousness, then automatically the citizens also take up. So therefore Lord Krishna chose to give the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, who was a king. Because if Arjuna understands this, everyone will understand. So till here, Parikshit Maharaj has been hearing very attentively the stories of different kings, Prahlad, Dhruva, and so many pastimes. So towards the end of the 9th canto, in 2 verses, Shukdev Goswami summarizes entire Krishna Leela. Krishna Leela, you can go on for eternity, or you can summarize it in 2 verses. One of the words Srila Prabhupada mentions here. In 1 verse, how Shukdev Goswami explains entire Krishna Leela. This is the 9th canto ending. Jato gata pitra grihat vrajam edi rahato hatva ripun sutta shatani kotrudruha utpadya teshu purusha kratubi samagye atmanam atma nimagnam parityan janeshu. So Shukdev Goswami explains Krishna Leela in 1 verse. He said, Lord Krishna, who is Leela Purushattam, he was born in his father's house in Mathura, but immediately Lord Krishna left to Vrindavan. So Lord Krishna performed a lot of pastimes in Vrindavan, killed many demons. Lord Krishna goes to Dwaraka, marries 16,000 wives, and in this way establishes the principle of religion. So in 1-2 verses, Shukdev Goswami explains entire Krishna Leela. Now, if all of us were there in Parikshit's place, we would have become very happy. So devotees, when the class starts, devotees become they come in a little tension. The question is when the class is going to end. As soon as the class ends, especially when there's a short class, devotees are very happy. But Parikshit Maharaj, who's waiting now to hear Krishna Leela, and Shukdev Goswami has summarized entire Krishna Leela in 2 verses. Parikshit congratulates Shukdev Goswami for explaining everything, but then he tells Shukdev Goswami that now he wants to hear more about Krishna. Yadoscha dharma shilasya nitaram muni sattama tatra amshena vitarnasya vishnur viryani samshana. He says, oh best of Muni Shukdev Goswami, please kindly describe to me the pastimes of Krishna, who comes along with his brother Balaram. So here the word here is Tatra Amshena Avitirnasya. So whenever Lord Krishna comes, Balaramji also comes. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking Shukdev Goswami, please describe Krishna Leela. You have described the Yadukul, but in the Yadu dynasty, I want to hear about Krishna along with the pastimes of Balaram. Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport here, the word Amshena, which comes in this verse, has 2 meanings. One refers to Balaramji, because Balaramji is one of the Amshas of Krishna. So one understanding is Parikshit wants to know about Krishna and Balaram. The other understanding is Amshena means partially. So Parikshit is telling Shukdev Goswami, please describe Lord Krishna as much as you can. Because Lord Krishna's pastimes is so much, no one can say that I have completely described Krishna. It is not possible. So Srila Prabhupada explains here that Anantadev, Anantashesh, who is Balaramji himself, with his thousands and millions of mouths, for millions of lifetimes, for millions of years, he is describing the pastimes of Krishna. Still there is no end to such pastimes. So why does Lord Krishna come in this world? The day of Janmashtami, Lord Krishna takes birth. Why does he take birth? Kunti Maharani in her prayers in the first canto of Bhagavatam, when Lord Krishna is departing from Hastinapur to Dwarka, Kunti Maharani explains various reasons for Lord Krishna's appearance. And one of the reasons she says is, my dear Lord, you come so that you can perform all these beautiful pastimes, so that we can get to hear about Krishna's pastimes. So the only reason Krishna comes and does all these leelas is so that we can sit and hear about him. That's the only purpose. So Lord Krishna has given us this human form of life. The most important thing that we are supposed to do is sit and hear about Krishna. This Krishna Katha, which Srila Prabhupada stresses practically in every shloka of the first part of this chapter, Srila Prabhupada stresses that this Krishna conscious movement, ISKCON society, is principally made so that people can get to come together in association of devotees and hear about Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, when he was in the initial days in America, Prabhupada had written a Bhagavad Gita manuscript. He had written a few books. And in those days, there was one American boy who came to meet Srila Prabhupada. His name was Howard Wheeler, one of the initial disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada initiated him as Hayagriva Das. So Howard Wheeler, Hayagriva Das, was an English professor. So when Prabhupada came to know this is an English professor who has come to Srila Prabhupada's movement, Prabhupada immediately gave one manuscript and told him, please edit this book. Because Prabhupada was, in his humility, Prabhupada was saying that English is not my first language, so you are better in English, please edit my book. So Hayagri Prabhu, Howard Wheeler, took this manuscript and he edited it a couple of months, and he came back to Srila Prabhupada and he told Srila Prabhupada very casually, Prabhupada, if there is any other service, you please tell me. So Prabhupada told him, there is one box there, you can open that box. So he opened that box, there were so many manuscripts. So Hayagri Prabhu said, Prabhupada, this is going to take one lifetime. Prabhupada said, not one lifetime, many lifetimes. So if we just keep reading the pastimes of Krishna, trying to immerse ourselves in this, we will need lifetimes to actually understand the depths of these pastimes. So therefore, it's very important that in this Krishna conscious movement, we focus on Srila Prabhupada's books. Srila Prabhupada, towards the end of Madhya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhupada mentions a very beautiful sentence. Prabhupada tells the devotees there, it's very important that as devotees of ISKCON, we read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita properly. Otherwise, Prabhupada mentions we will miss the opportunity to go back to the spiritual world. Whatever we need is there in these books. But it's very important, like Parikshit Maharaj, we try to absorb ourselves in Krishna Katha. So Parikshit Maharaj continues ahead. Avatirya yador vamshe bhagavan bhuta bhavana kritavan yani vishwatma tani no vada vistarat. He says that Lord Krishna, who is Bhagavan, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. That Krishna is that Supreme Lord, the Master of all demigods. So Parikshit is saying, please describe Krishna Leela in detail. Tani no vada vistarat. Please explain in detail. You can imagine the position of Parikshit now. This is the starting of the 10th canto. So Parikshit has been hearing the first 9 cantos with rapt attention, without eating, without drinking, without sleeping, no break. So that means the first 9 cantos are over, literally like it's almost 4 days at least done. So Parikshit is hearing for 4 days continuous. And now he has the guts, he has the courage to tell Shukdev Goswami, please explain Krishna Leela in detail. And now when Shukdev Goswami starts, because Parikshit has said, please explain in detail, Shukdev Goswami gives straight 90 chapters describing Krishna Leela. So when you go to a great soul and ask a question, you have to be ready to hear their long answer also. Right? So Shukdev Goswami goes in detail about Krishna Leela. So Srila Prabhupada explains in this purport, this is the mission of the Krishna conscious movement. I'm just reading the sentence. This is the mission of Krishna consciousness, to hear about Krishna and thus be liberated from material bondage. So this is the mission statement that we want to hear in detail. So as we are celebrating Janmashtami, as we are entering into Krishna Leela, Krishna Janam, it's very important that we embrace the mood of Parikshit. So for us, hearing about Krishna is not an entertainment. It is a question of urgency. It's the most important necessity for all of us. Parikshit, when he was hearing Krishna Leela, he was not hearing in the mood of entertainment. He knew that this Krishna Leela is going to save him from birth and death. So Parikshit was very, very eager to hear. So this is the first very important lesson in order to actually enter into Krishna Leela and Janmashtami, eagerness to hear about Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, when it was time for his Diksha, Prabhupada was a young Grihastha. Prabhupada was staying in Allahabad, Prayag. And that time there was a Gaudiya Math just started there. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had come. The Gaudiya Math temple president told Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, this is Abhay Babu, Abhay Charan, very young boy, very nice devotee, please give him Diksha. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati told him, I know him, I have noted him, he likes to hear. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati saw Srila Prabhupada only once before. Where did he see him? In Koshi. Koshi comes in the Vrindavan Parikrama Marg, 84 Krosh. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was having his last day of the yatra, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told his disciples, all of you all have two choice, because it's the last day of the yatra. You all can go to see, have darshan of Sheshashai Vishnu, or I will give a discourse, you all can sit and hear. Most people decided to go out to have darshan of Sheshashai Vishnu. Srila Prabhupada, as a young Grihastha Abhay Charan, he was sitting there to hear from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And mind you, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would hardly tell stories. He was very, very philosophical. He would speak such deep philosophy. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati is going on and on. One by one, people started to get up and go. It started with a crowd of 20, 30. Literally at the end, there were like 4 or 5 people left. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati is on and on. And in that crowd, Srila Prabhupada was sitting. And Prabhupada, later on, he told his disciples, most of the things that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was speaking, Prabhupada didn't even understand. But he was thinking that, I am getting an opportunity to hear from a great soul, let me sit and hear. So this mood is very, very important, that we understand this principle of developing eagerness to hear about Krishna. And in text 4, Parikshit Maharaj explains a very beautiful verse and a very important verse. Nivritta taraser upagiyamanat bhavaushada chotra manobiramat ka uttama shloka gunanuvadat pumam virajyeta vina pashugnat. So in this shloka, Parikshit Maharaj explains 3 kinds of people who can get benefit from Krishna Katha. If you are in any of the 3 categories, you are a candidate to hear about Krishna Leela. You can definitely benefit a lot. The first type of people who actually relish Krishna Katha are called Nivritta Taraser. Nivritta means to be free from. Taraser means Trishna, ya thirst. Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, in this world, everyone has a thirst for enjoyment. Anandamayo Bhyasat. We are all searching for happiness, enjoyment. But the problem is, we don't know where to search for happiness. And Srila Prabhupada explains here, how much ever you try in this world, you may find happiness on the level of the mind and senses, but your heart is never fulfilled. One great personality, she said that the biggest problem in this world is hunger. But not hunger of the belly, hunger of the heart. Everyone is looking for that love. But no love in this world can actually satisfy us other than love for Krishna. So we are all looking for sense gratification, but liberated souls are called Nivritta Taraser, who are done with material desires. So the first category of people who really relish Krishna Leela are liberated souls, pure devotees. Just like you have the example of Parikshit, Shukdev Goswami, all these great personalities, they can keep on hearing Krishna Katha for eternity. They find so much relish in it. But all of us, we are not in the category of Nivritta Taraser, right? We are not liberated souls. So we fall in the second category called Bhavoshadat. So we are all sadhakas, we are all seeking liberation. We are not liberated, we are all seeking liberation, we want to attain the spiritual world. So for all of us, Krishna Katha is like a medicine. Bhavoshadi. Aushadi means medicine. Bhavoshadi means the medicine for Bhava Rog. So in this world, all of us have a disease, and the disease is called Bhava Rog. To take birth, to die, to take birth, to die. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janare jatare shainam. To keep taking births again and again, this is a big disease. And to stop this disease, you need a medicine. And what is the medicine? Krishna Leela. Therefore, Parikshit, when he had a notice of 7 days to die, Parikshit doesn't go and look for so many other medicines and doctors. Parikshit knows that the real medicine is Krishna Katha. This is the real Amrit. Idam shariram parinama peshalam patatya avasham shatasandhi jarjaram kimoshadam prichasi mood durmate niramayam Krishna rasayanam piba. Kulashekar Maharaj, one of the great alvars of South India, he explains in this song, in his prayer, my dear Lord, this body, whatever you do to take care of this body is eventually going to die. Like our Krishan Prabhu always gives this example. People may eat Chavan Prash to have a good health. But Chavan Rishi who made Chavan Prash, he also has died and gone. So whatever you do in this world, ultimately death will come. Right? You can't avoid death. So the only thing that can make us eternal is Krishna Rasayanam Pibha. We have to drink the elixir, the nectar of Krishna Leela. So someone who's intelligent like Parikshit will understand that the solution to all the sufferings in this world, birth and death, is just to sit and hear about Krishna. This is the solution. So therefore, for all of us, Krishna Katha, Krishna Kirtan is like a medicine. When we go to a doctor and the doctor gives you a medicine, the medicine may feel good for you or it may not feel good for you. Still you take it. Do we tell the doctor, give me sweet medicine? Medicine, however it is, you just take it. So similarly for all of us, Krishna Katha, sometimes it is sweet, sometimes it is not. Krishna Kirtan, Naam Jap, sometimes it is sweet, sometimes it is not. One of our very senior devotees, Govind Prabhu, we have a school in Bombay called Gopal's Garden High School. So Govind Prabhu went to that school and he asked all the children, how many of you all like chanting japa? Children are very honest. Children told Prabhuji, we don't like chanting. So Prabhuji told him, I also don't like, but still I chant. Many times, chanting Hare Krishna, especially Kirtan everyone loves, but sitting and chanting japa, sometimes we don't like it. But still we do it as a medicine. This is the medicine that we have to take. And just like medicines are taken regularly, similarly Krishna Katha, Krishna Kirtan has to be done regularly. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So Srila Prabhupada made this society where morning, evening people can have discussion on Krishna, participate in Kirtan. So when we regularly take this medicine, the dosage, then purification happens. We get freed from disease. The third category of people who can also benefit from Krishna Katha are called Shotra Manobhiramat. People who are looking for entertainment. In this world, everyone loves entertainment. Right? The amount of money that is spent on entertainment, making movies, crazy amount of money people spend on movies, just for 1 hour movie. People love entertainment. But the problem is, because people don't know how to connect entertainment to Krishna Leela, they watch the so-called heroines of this world. But here Parikshit Maharaj is suggesting, even if you want entertainment, let that entertainment be based on Krishna Katha. How many of you all have seen this latest movie, Mahavatar Narsimha? I'm sure all of you all have seen. Such great entertainment. But it has such a beautiful lesson. The character of Prahlad is depicted so wonderfully. So this is just one movie. We can, even if ISKCON devotees make movie every 1 hour, there's no shortage of storyline. Unlimited stories. So this is how one should actually find their entertainment also. Connected to Krishna Katha, Krishna Leela. 100 years ago in the land of India, when there was no television, none of these things, what was the entertainment for Indian people? in different places, Margaon, in different villages, people would gather together, and in the evenings they would have discussion on Ramayana, Mahabharat, some drama connected to Ramayana, Mahabharat. This was the entertainment. So Parikshit Maharaj is saying, in fact, in one sense, Parikshit Maharaj is supporting making of such movies, Mahavatar Narsimha. He's saying even if people want entertainment, these are the ways one should actually find entertainment. So Parikshit Maharaj explains three categories of people: those who are liberated, those who are seeking liberation, and those who want sirf entertainment for the mind and senses. All three of them can get benefit from Krishna Katha, Krishna Leela. Everyone can get benefit. But Parikshit says there is only one category of people who will not get connected to Krishna Leela. Who are they? Pumam virajyet vina pashugnat. Pashugnat means animal killers. Those who kill animals, those who eat non-vegetarian food. Parikshit Maharaj is saying it's very difficult for such people to get connected to Krishna consciousness. So we are what we eat. So keeping the diet also very simple is very important. So in this way, Parikshit is explaining the three categories of people who actually would love to hear Krishna Katha and who can get benefit from Krishna Katha. In the next verse, Parikshit explains what is his personal reason why he wants to hear about Krishna. Very beautiful verse. Parikshit Maharaj explains, Pita Maha me smare maranjayer Deva Vritadhya Atiresti Mangalai Drutayam Kaurava Sainya Sagaram Kritavataram Vatsapadam Smayat Plavaha. So Parikshit Maharaj says, why he wants to hear about Krishna. He says, my grandfathers, who are Parikshit's grandfathers? The Pandavas, especially Arjuna. He says, my grandfathers, the Pandavas, the Arjuna, they went to fight on this battlefield of Kurukshetra. And winning this war was impossible for them. So Parikshit says, the battlefield of Kurukshetra was like a big ocean. And in the Kaurav army, Bhishma, Karna, Drona, Kripa, they were like big, big fishes. Parikshit uses the word Timingalai. Timingal is a fish. Probably we never see this fish. We have heard of the biggest fish is a whale. Right? Whale is a huge fish. Timingal is a fish that can keep the whale in its throat. Therefore it is called Timingal. Right? Probably you can never see this. So these Maharathis, Bhishma, Karna, Drona, they were like Timingal, huge fishes. And the Pandavas were small little fishes. What is the possibility of a small fish winning against a big fish? Impossible. But because they took shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, Krishna helped them cross this entire ocean of battlefield. Entire ocean, Krishna made the entire ocean of battlefield of Kurukshetra into a very small puddle, and the Pandavas could easily cross over them. Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, this is the 10th canto, Bhagavatam, the 14th chapter, Lord Brahma offering prayers to Lord Krishna. This is a very famous verse. Samashrita ye pada pallavaplavam mahat padam punya yasho murare bhavam buddhir vatsa padam param padam padam yad vipadam na tesham. So Lord Brahma explains here, anyone who takes shelter of Krishna, Krishna's feet is like a boat, Krishna's lotus feet. Anyone who takes shelter of this boat of Krishna's lotus feet can easily cross over the ocean of birth and death. Huge ocean of birth and death, which is literally impossible to cross. You can cross by taking shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. Lord Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, Devi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mamevaya prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. Overcoming Maya is impossible. But if we take shelter of the feet of Krishna, we can easily overcome Maya. And Srila Prabhupada explains here, taking shelter of Krishna's lotus feet means taking shelter of Krishna Katha, Krishna Leela. In the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna, Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. At the time of death, one should think about Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport, thinking of Krishna means chanting Hare Krishna, hearing about Krishna. That's what it means, thinking of Krishna. Taking shelter of Krishna's lotus feet means taking shelter of Krishna Katha, Krishna Leela, Krishna Kirtan. When we do this, we can easily cross over the cycle of birth and death. We can easily cross over all our problems. Kaler dosha nide rajan asti ek mahan gunat kirtanadeva krishnasya mukta sanga param vrajet. Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, but if we take shelter of Krishna's holy name, we can easily cross over. So this is the first reason, his personal reason why Parikshit wants to hear about Krishna, because Parikshit is very grateful to Krishna that Krishna saved his grandfathers. Because of Krishna, the Pandavas became victorious. The second reason why Parikshit wants to hear, he says, Drauni astra viplushtam idam madangam santana bijam kuru pandavanam jugopa kushnim gata ata chakro matuscha meya sharanam gataya. He says, what to speak of my grandfathers? Krishna saved me also personally. When Parikshit was in the womb of his mother Uttara, the war was over, but Ashwatthama shot that Brahmastra to kill Parikshit. So here Parikshit Maharaj explains, Krishna with his Sudarshan Chakra entered the womb of his mother and protected Parikshit. So Parikshit is very grateful to Krishna that Krishna saved him in his childhood. In all our life, Krishna helps us in so many ways, isn't it? Parikshit has his own reasons. We all have our own reasons. But many times we are so unconscious, we are not able to appreciate Krishna's protection. Krishna is helping all of us at every moment. I often give this example. Just getting up in the morning is itself a huge miracle. It's Krishna's protection. So many people die in the night only, isn't it? So if you are able to get up in the morning, you have to understand Krishna protected you. Krishna's mercy, otherwise you will not be able to get up. Second, more astonishing, a bigger miracle is if you get up as a devotee. Because the mind is so unstable, in the night only your mind may flip and you may decide that morning I don't want to be a devotee at all. If you are able to get up in the morning and next day morning you are wearing tilak, you have kantimala, you have to be very grateful to Krishna that Krishna protected you in the night also. So the point is, if you are able to practice bhakti day in, day out, Krishna's protection is there. Otherwise the onslaughts, just like for Arjuna, the onslaughts of the Kaurav Sena was there. For all of us, Maya's attacks are there everywhere. If you are able to practice bhakti even for a single day, what to speak of a week, what to speak of a year, we have to be very, very grateful to Krishna. So Parikshit, this is in one sense his gratitude journal. So we can all have our own gratitude journal where we are grateful to Krishna. Recognize Krishna's protection, Krishna's mercy in our life at every aspect. You see here, Parikshit now is being cursed that he is going to die in 7 days. Parikshit is at his moment of death. But Parikshit is not telling Krishna, Krishna, why is this happening to me? He is focusing on when Krishna saved him in his childhood. So a devotee like Parikshit always focuses on the good things that Krishna does in their life. A devotee doesn't focus on all the negative things that are happening. He focuses on something that is very important. So in this way, Parikshit has his own 2 personal reasons why he wants to hear about Krishna. And then he continues, Viryani tasya kila deha bhajam antar bahir purusha kala rupe prachato mrityum utamritam cha maya manushasya vadasva vidvan. He says, Lord Krishna, he has 3 forms. Lord Krishna comes as time, as Paramatma, and Lord Krishna comes in this Virat Roop, in the universal form. And Krishna is inside, outside. And in this way, Krishna, in life or in death, Krishna's mercy is always there with all of us. So Parikshit, in these 2 shlokas, he explains how Lord Krishna saved him at the time, at his birth. And now that same Krishna wants Parikshit to die. So Parikshit considered that in the childhood, Lord Krishna saved him. That is also Krishna's mercy. Now that same Krishna wants Parikshit to die. That is also Krishna's mercy. So therefore he says, my dear Shukdev Goswami, I want to hear about Krishna Leela in detail. I am very, very eager to hear. From the next verse, Parikshit is asking 7 questions. 7 questions connected to Krishna Leela. And the answer of these 7 questions is the subject matter of the entire 10th canto. So Srimad Bhagavatam, ya Bhagavad Gita, even Bhagavad Gita, both these books are question and answers. Most of our Vedic literatures are question and answers, right? So Bhagavad Gita begins with Arjuna asking questions and Lord Krishna answering. The Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 1 begins with the sages of Naimisharanya, Shaunakadi Rishi, asking 6 questions. And Sutta Goswami answers the 6 questions in 3 chapters, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 basically, and part of 4. In the 4th chapter of first canto, Sutta Goswami, Shaunakadi Rishi, they ask another 3 questions. And answer to these 3 questions is the entire first canto. So like this, the Bhagavatam cantos move through question and answers. So here Parikshit is asking 7 questions to Shukadeva Goswami. Answer to the 7 questions is straight 90 chapters. Right? So Parikshit finishes the questions in 6-7 verses. Shukadeva Goswami gives 90 chapters describing Krishna Leela. What is the first question of Parikshit Maharaj? He is asking here, Rohinyas tanayo prokto Rama sankarshana tvaya Devakya garbha sambandha kuto dehantaram vina. His first question is, my dear Shukadeva Goswami, please explain, how did Balaram, who is known as Sankarshan, how did he get transferred from one mother to another? Balaram has 2 mothers. Generally, one mother may have 2 children. But have you ever seen one child having 2 mothers? Not possible. So therefore, Janma Karma Chame Divyam. Krishna and Krishna's Balaramji and all these great souls, their birth is also divine. They are not born in ordinary ways. So Balaramji is in the womb of Devaki and Balaramji is in the womb of Rohini also. So Parikshit is saying, how is this possible? He is in the womb of Devaki and is in the womb of Rohini. So generally, if you have to go from one mother's womb to another, you have to change your body. That's how it happens, na? You die and then you take another birth in another womb. But here Parikshit is saying, Dehantara Vina, without changing bodies, Balaramji has gone from one womb to another. How is this possible? So this is original technology, right? Like these days you have Bluetooth transfer, online transfer. This is like womb to womb transfer. You have to consult Krishna and Balaram how they did this. So this is his first question. How did Balaram get transferred from one womb to another? Second question. Kasman Mukunda Bhagavan Pittur Gehat Vrajam Gata Kva Vasam Jantibi Sardam Kritavan Satvatam Pati. So his second question is, first is, why did Balaram transfer himself from one womb to another? Not only Balaram, Krishna also transferred himself. Krishna was born to Vasudev in the prison house of Kansa. Lord Krishna told Vasudev, please transfer me. Like politicians, they transfer some people from this place to another. Here Krishna has transferred Balaram and then he's transferred himself also. So Krishna goes from Mathura to Vrindavan. Why did Lord Krishna transfer himself from one place to another? This is the second question. And the third question is asking here, in Vrindavan, where did Lord Krishna stay? Where did he stay? And Srila Prabhupada explains here, this is the itinerary of Lord Krishna. This is the places Lord Krishna changed. He was born in Mathura. Lord Krishna goes to Gokul, stays there for some time, then goes to Nandagram, then comes back to Mathura and then goes to Dwarka. So basically Krishna Leela, this is the first chapter of Krishna Leela, 10th canto. The 10th canto has 90 chapters. The first 40 chapters describe Krishna's Vrindavan Leela. And the next 50 chapters is Krishna's Dwarka Leela. So this is the second question. Why did Krishna transfer himself from one place to another? And the second question is, where did Lord Krishna stay in Vrindavan? Text 10. Vraje vasan kim akaron madhur puryam cha keshava brataram chadavit kamsam matur addat arhanam. So Lord Krishna, the fourth question is, what did Lord Krishna do in Vrindavan and Mathura? This is the fourth question. And the fifth question, which is again a very interesting question, why did Lord Krishna kill his own uncle Kamsa? In scriptures, these things are not allowed. Parikshit is telling Shukadev, why did Lord Krishna kill his own uncle? This is the fifth question that Parikshit is asking. And then he says, Deham manusham ashritya kati varshani vrishnibi Yadupuryam Sahavasit Patnya Kati Abhavan Prabho. Lord Krishna, even though he's the Supreme Lord, still he comes as a human being. Deham Manusham Ashritya. He appears like a human being, but he's not a human being. So his sixth question Parikshit is asking is, for how many years Lord Krishna stayed in Dwarka? And the seventh question is, how many wives Lord Krishna married? So Srila Prabhupada explains here that whatever Lord Krishna does, he does full scale. Even when Lord Krishna has to get married, not 1, 2, straight 16,108. Right? So Parikshit wants to know even about the marriages of Lord Krishna, how many wives he had, how did he get married, and how many years he stayed in Dwarka. So these are 7 questions that Parikshit is asking. And beyond that, just see the eagerness of Parikshit. Parikshit Maharaj is telling Shukdev Goswami, Etat anyatcha sarvam me mune Krishna vichestitam vaktum harasi sarvagya shraddhanaya vistritam. He says, please describe all the questions that I have asked and tell me all those things about Krishna that I have not asked also. You can imagine the courage and the guts of Parikshit. He is telling Shukdev Goswami, please answer the 7 questions, and I may not have the intelligence to ask other questions. You please tell me everything about Krishna in detail. And please know that I have full faith. Shraddhadanaya vistritam. This word, full faith, is very, very important. So when we sit to hear Krishna Katha, we should be hearing with a lot of faith, a lot of love, and a lot of respect towards Krishna. And then Parikshit, he may feel that Shukdev Goswami will think Parikshit is probably tired, exhausted. Any speaker, he also has compassion. So he also continues. But then he wants to continue, but then he sees the audience also. So Shukdev Goswami was thinking, it's already 4 days now. Parikshit, does he have a capacity to hear more? We all know that when Parikshit became thirsty, what did Parikshit do 7-8 days ago? He was there in the jungle. He came to the hermitage of Shamik Rishi, and because he was not given water, Parikshit became so angry. What he did? He put a dead snake around the neck of Shamik Rishi. So Shukdev Goswami is thinking, better I ask him, otherwise he will do something to me also. So Parikshit, he is telling Shukdev Goswami, very beautiful verse, he says, Naisati dussaha shunmam tektodam api bhadyate pibantam tvam mukamboj chutam hari katamritam. Parikshit says, dussaha means which is very difficult to overcome. What is difficult to overcome? Thirst and hunger. When someone becomes thirsty and hungry, it's very difficult to control these things. It's not easy. But Parikshit is saying, my dear Shukdev Goswami, because I'm drinking the nectar of Krishna Katha that is coming from your lotus mouth, thirst, hunger is not disturbing me at all. I am completely nourished just hearing about Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, Parikshit is an example of a sincere student who wants to pass the final exam of death. Parikshit knows that he has 7 days left. So Parikshit doesn't want to waste his time in all these things. He wants to reduce his eating, sleeping, and he wants to focus more and more on chanting. I think last time when I came here, did I speak about Madhavendra Puri when I came here last time? I just remember this. So it is explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Madhavendra Puri was in Remuna, and Madhavendra Puri had a desire that he wanted to taste that kheer. But then it was a time when the bhoga was being offered. So Madhavendra Puri was feeling, I'm an offender. He just left and went. And he was sitting in the marketplace there and chanting. Prabhupada explains on the purport in that particular place that Madhavendra Puri was not interested in eating and sleeping. His focus was chanting about Krishna. So similarly, Parikshit Maharaj, he's teaching all of us how all of us should prepare for this final examination, how serious we should be. So Parikshit, he's having so much, he's finding so much nourishment in Krishna Katha, Krishna Leela. He's transcended the bodily level. And this is what we are supposed to do. Gradually, we should be able to transcend the bodily levels of eating, sleeping, and then we become more and more focused on chanting and hearing. We have the example of Parikshit. We have the example of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. The 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, they would reduce their eating, they would reduce their sleeping, and they focused more and more about hearing about Krishna and participating in the process of devotional service. And when we do this, there is so much nectar, there is so much nourishment in the process of bhakti, we will have the strength to overcome all these difficulties. We will have the strength. Just like the example of Bhishma Dev, the first canto of Bhagavatam. Bhishma Dev was giving his Bhagavatam class. He was speaking like literally 40 days about Krishna lying on a bed of arrows. That was the level of Bhishma Dev. Srila Prabhupada, when he was in his final days also, Prabhupada was just preaching on and on. So Srila Prabhupada explains in this purport here, those who have tasted the nectar of Krishna Katha, they can gradually transcend all these levels. They can gradually transcend eating, sleeping, mating, defending, transcend everything and focus more and more about the core Krishna conscious activities. So here, Parikshit is using 2 words. One is called Amrita and the other is called Ambuja. Amrita refers to nectar or it refers to the moon, and Ambuja refers to the lotus. In this material world, there are only 2 beautiful things. One is the moon, Chandra, and other is a lotus. If you find any comparison of Krishna's beauty, it will always be compared to a lotus, to the moon or to a lotus. So here Parikshit is saying, my dear Shukdev Goswami, the Krishna Katha that is coming from your mouth is moonshine and soothing like a lotus. So Srila Prabhupada explains here, if we actually want to find satisfaction, if we want to find nourishment, if we want to find freedom from all our suffering, sitting and hearing Krishna Katha is something that is very, very important. So Shukdev Goswami becomes very, very happy. And Shukdev Goswami, he tells Parikshit Maharaj, my dear Parikshit, Shri Shuka Uvacha, Samyak Vyavasita Buddhis Tava Raja Rishi Sattama Vasudeva Katayamte Yajjata Naishtaki Rati. So Shukdev Goswami is congratulating Parikshit Maharaj. My dear Parikshit, your intelligence is in the right place. You being a king, Prabhupada explains here, for a king, if a renunciate is supposed to speak all these verses, it's understandable. A king like Parikshit, he's speaking these verses. It's not easy. Someone who's surrounded by so much wealth, but not at all attracted to it, is not an easy thing. So Shukdev Goswami is so happy, he tells Parikshit, your intelligence is fixed in the right place. You are setting the right example for all humanity to follow. And Srila Prabhupada explains here that this is what ideally kings are supposed to do. They are supposed to set right examples for the public to follow. And what is right example? Fixing our mind in Krishna. Yena kena prakarena mana Krishna niveshyat. Somehow or the other, we have to fix our mind on Krishna. If we fix our mind on Krishna, then there is great possibility that we can achieve Krishna after giving up this body. Shukdev Goswami continues, Vasudeva Katha Prashna Purusham Trin Punatihi Vaktram Prichakam Shrotams Tatpada Shalilam Yata. So Shukdev Goswami tells Parikshit, my dear Parikshit, just like Ganga purifies the 3 worlds. In the heavenly world, Ganga is called Mandakini Ganga. In this world, Ganga is called Bhagirathi Ganga. In the Patal Lok, Ganga is called Bhogavati Ganga. Just like Ganga purifies the 3 worlds, similarly Krishna Katha can purify 3 kinds of people. Who are the 3 kinds? Vaktram, Prichakam, Shrotrams. One who's speaking, he also gets purified. One who's asking questions, he also gets purified. And one who's listening to this question answer, he also gets purified. So Prabhupada explains here, since the Krishna conscious movement is full of Vasudev Katha, anyone who hears, anyone who joins the movement, and anyone who preaches will be purified. So somehow or the other, if you participate in this Krishna conscious movement, definitely there is purification. One devotee was explaining in what levels the purification happens. Who gets the maximum benefit? One who is speaking about Krishna, he is the one who gets maximum benefit. How does he get maximum benefit? Because to speak about Krishna, you have to actually read the subject matter very properly. You have to immerse yourself completely. So you get maximum benefit. The second person who gets the maximum benefit is the one who's asking questions. Because he's asking questions, the discussion is happening. And the third is one who's hearing. But it is explained that even beyond the speaker gets benefit. Who gets the maximum benefit, One who organizes the whole setup. One who brings the speaker together, the hearers together. That person gets the real maximum benefit. I was doing an online session for Sadhu Sangh group, Surud Madhaprabhu and Gopi Manohar Prabhu's group. I was telling there that for me, in ISKCON, one of the greatest preachers is Vaishnav Seva Prabhu. I don't know how many of you all know Vaishnav Seva Prabhu. So Vaishnav Seva Prabhu is the one who is running the Hare Krishna TV and ISKCON Desire Tree. He's a surgeon in Bhaktivedanta Hospital, and he and his wife, all the money they get in the hospital, they pump it into the Hare Krishna TV. Not one single rupee goes in their pocket. Vaishnav Seva Prabhu, till now he's not given one class. Hardly he gives classes. But he is such a great personality. He's created a platform, Hare Krishna TV, through which millions of people are getting an opportunity to hear about Krishna, and he's connecting so many speakers to this movement, to the process of giving them an opportunity to speak. So preaching can be done on different levels. This movie itself is such a massive preaching. What you can't do in hundreds of your lectures, one movie has done it so easily. So preaching can be done in many, many levels. But somehow or the other, in some way or the other, you get connected to Krishna, benefit will definitely start. So this is the introduction of Krishna Leela. Right? So this philosophy is also very important. From the next verse, Shukdev Goswami, after congratulating Parikshit, he actually gets into the story of how Krishna descends. Text 17. Bhumir dripta dripa vyaja daityanika shatadyutai akranta bhuri bharena brahmanam sharanam yayo. Once upon a time, just like every story starts, once upon a time, when Mother Earth was overburdened by hundreds and thousands of demons, Mother Earth went to Lord Brahma, and she's expressing her distress and she's taking shelter of Lord Brahma for a solution. So this is the reason, one of the reasons of Lord Krishna's advent. Srila Prabhupada explains here, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamiham. Why does Lord Krishna come? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Dharma glani means whenever there is decline of religion and increase of irreligion, Krishna comes. What does religion mean? What does dharma mean? When Krishna is saying when there is decline of dharma and increase of adharma, I come. What does it mean is, when people stop practicing bhakti and start doing all their other nonsense, that is where Krishna comes. So dharma refers to bhakti. And Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, when the earth is filled with demons who are non-devotees, who are against Krishna, the earth cannot tolerate. Earth can tolerate, Mother Bhumi can tolerate unlimited amount of people, but not demonic people. Param Pujya Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he has a very beautiful quote. He's saying the problem in this world, people feel that overpopulation is a problem. But Maharaj says the problem is not overpopulation. The problem is what is the population doing. Overpopulation is never a problem for earth. But if the population is not practicing bhakti, that is a big problem for earth. So Mother Bhumi, she is going to Brahma and crying out. Right? So whenever an avatar happens, even in this movie it is shown so well that Mother Bhumi is put into Garbhodak Sagar and then the Lord comes. So here Mother Earth, she goes in the form of a cow. Gau bhutva shru mukhi kinna kandranti krindanti karunam vibho upasti antike tasmai vyasannam samavochata. So Bhumi Devi, she goes in the form of a cow and her eyes are filled with tears and she's crying her problems out to Lord Brahma. So our Acharya has explained, why does Mother Earth go in the form of a cow? Because for Lord Krishna, cows are very, very dear. So therefore, in order to attract the mercy of Krishna, she goes in the form of a cow so that Krishna's mercy can immediately come. And her eyes are filled with tears. She's literally crying out to Krishna. Even in this movie of when does Prahlad actually have darshan of Vishnu? When he's actually literally crying out to Krishna. Right? So those tears are something that is very important. We can't artificially imitate. But then when we sincerely cry out, Srila Prabhupada would always explain, one chanting of Hare Krishna is enough. You can attain Krishna. But the chanting has to have a quality. And that quality means to cry out to Krishna. When we sincerely cry out to Krishna, that is the time Krishna's mercy comes. And here, Mother Earth, she doesn't approach Krishna directly. She is approaching Brahma, and through Brahma she is going to Krishna. So here, the advent of Krishna Leela starts with approaching a Guru. Brahma represents the Guru. If we want Krishna to appear in our life, we have to go through the channel of a great soul. That is the principle, that is the process. This is an eternal principle. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado yasya prasada nagati kutopi. Just like Prahlad, he got the darshan of Narsingadev, because before Prahlad, before Narsingadev, Narad Muni comes in Prahlad's life. Dhruv Maharaj got darshan of Lord Vishnu, but before Lord Vishnu, Narad Muni comes in his life. And even if you study the life of Narad Muni, how did Narad Muni get the darshan of Vishnu? Because before Lord Vishnu, before having that darshan, in Narad Muni's life, the great souls, Bhakti Vedantas had come. He met the great sadhus, and then finally he got darshan of Lord Vishnu. So this is an eternal principle. If you want to have Krishna in your life, first we have to approach the great souls. Shri Guru Padashray, take shelter of a Guru. So when Bhumi Devi cried out her heart to Brahma, so Brahma, even though he is the secondary creator, but Brahma at this point he understood that I also can't help. So when people come to us for a solution, we should also know when to go to our superiors. So Brahmaji understands that I cannot do anything. So Brahmaji decides, let us all go to Lord Vishnu. Brahma tad upadharyata saha devas taya saha jagamasa trinayanas tiram shira payo nide. So Lord Brahma with demigods and Lord Shiva, they all go to Payo Nidhi. Payo Nidhi means the ocean of milk. And they are all praying to Lord Vishnu. So Lord Brahma is taking the whole team of demigods and Shiva. Why? Why is Lord Brahma taking everyone? Why is not going alone? Anyone has an answer? Because when you go in a big group now, you are generally heard very easily. Now if you want to ask something from the government, you go alone and shout, Meri mangi puri karo. No one is going to listen. But if you gather a crowd and go, government will listen. So this is the mood of Sankirtan. Brahmaji doesn't go alone. He takes a whole group and they are all crying out to Krishna, Krishna, you appear. So therefore in Kali Yuga, the Yuga Dharma is Sankirtan. We alone don't have the power to call Krishna. But if we, as a group we all cry out, the power is there. And why does Lord Brahma take Lord Shiva? Because he is telling Lord Vishnu, if you don't come, Shiva is ready to destroy the world. That is also ready. Plan B is also ready. So you please decide what you have to do. And then they all go to Shir Sagar and they are offering prayers to Krishna. Tatra gatva jagannatham deva devam vrishapakim purusham purusha shuktena upasti samahita. They are all standing in the ocean of milk. They are not able to see Vishnu. Vishnu is there in the ocean of milk. They are not able to see him. But they are all standing there and they are offering prayers with great attention, with great sincerity. So ultimately Krishna Leela happens when we surrender to a Guru, and the Guru gives you a process. And what is the process? Chanting Hare Krishna, crying out to Krishna. This mood of sincerely praying. So there is great power in prayers. Prayers have a lot of power that can actually bring Krishna down. So here Lord Krishna is addressed as Jagannath, the Lord of the universe. Deva Deva, he is the Lord of all demigods also. So therefore Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Chandra, all of them are going to Lord Vishnu. Because when there is a big crisis in life, no one can solve it, only Krishna. Ekala Ishvara Krishna Ar Sababhritya. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, rest all are Krishna's servants. And with great attention they are offering their prayers. So when we chant Hare Krishna, this word attention, sincerely crying out to Krishna is very, very important. When there's a quality in that chanting, then Krishna can appear. So it is explained ahead that when Brahma and all the demigods offered prayers, they couldn't see Vishnu. The Lord didn't come in front of them. But Brahma could hear the words of Vishnu. No demigods could hear, only Brahma could hear. And Brahma conveyed Krishna's message to all the demigods. This is another very important point. Before having darshan of Krishna, what we will first hear is Krishna's message. When we take shelter of Krishna's message properly, when we follow Krishna's message, then Krishna's darshan will come. So here they are not able to see Krishna, but they are able to hear Krishna. So therefore our Acharya explained, Nam Rupa Guna Leela. Before Rupa, before the form of Krishna, is the name of Krishna. The pastimes, the katha of Krishna. When we hear about Krishna attentively, and then when we follow that, finally we can have darshan of Krishna. This is an eternal principle. Even Rukmini Devi, before she had darshan of Krishna, she heard about Krishna from Narad Muni. So Brahma, he conveys the message of Lord Vishnu to all the demigods. So again we see here, Brahma is the guru. What is his role? His role is to convey the devotee's message to the Lord and the Lord's message to the devotees. Prabhupada would explain who is a guru. Prabhupada would say, guru is a postal peon. He gives message from here to there and from there to here. No addition, no subtraction, that's all. So Brahmaji conveyed the prayers of all the demigods, Dharti Mata, to Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu gave a message to Brahma, and Lord Brahma communicated it to all of them. That's all the Guru does. He's just an intermediate, transparent via medium between God and the devotees. So here also we see, for us to understand God's message, we will understand it through the great souls only. Only the Gurus can tell us. So Lord Vishnu basically tells Lord Brahma that I know your problem already, because Lord Vishnu knows everything. He tells Lord Brahma, please tell the demigods that all of them should take birth in the Yadu Vamsha, Vrishni Kul, everywhere, Andhaka Kul, and they should be ready to assist me. So Brahmaji conveys the message as it is. But the Acharyas explain here, Brahmaji told all the demigods, all of you all take birth. But Brahmaji himself didn't take birth. Therefore Brahmaji finally commits an offense doing the Brahma Vimohan Leela. He excludes himself. But all the demigods are given this instruction, all of you all appear to assist me. Lord Krishna could have done it himself, but Lord Krishna is telling that all the demigods went to Krishna to pray. Lord Krishna says, I will come definitely, but all of you all also have to come. This is the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita that Srila Prabhupada explains here. Mam anusmara yuddhacha. Krishna doesn't tell the demigods, okay, I will handle, you all relax it out. They also have to participate. So Krishna doesn't make things easy for all of us. We have to fight it out. Arjuna, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna was personally present in the Rath, but Krishna didn't fight for Arjuna. Krishna gave guidance to Arjuna, but Arjuna had to fight it out. So in this way, Brahmaji tells all the demigods that Balaramji will come first, Yogamaya will come. All of y'all get ready for Krishna's appearance. Now, Shukadeva Goswami, as an expert storyteller, just like in movies, you have one scene, another scene, both scenes going together. So now on one scene is all the demigods going to Lord Vishnu, telling them, you please appear. Now how does Lord Vishnu appear? There is a scene for that also. So now Shukadeva Goswami explains that during that same time, there was Shurasena Yadupatir, Maturam Avassa Purim, Maturam Charushenamscha Vishayan Bubuje Pura. So right at that time, there was a king of the Yadu dynasty called Shurasen, and he was the king of Mathura. So that time, Vasudev, who was belonging to the Surasen dynasty, he was getting married to Devaki. Tasyam tu krichit shorir Vasudeva kritodvaha Devakya shoriya sardam payani ratam aruhat. So Vasudeva and Devaki, this is the next scene that Vasudeva and Devaki are getting married. And Kamsa happened to be the cousin brother of Devaki. So Kamsa, he had so much love for Devaki, In order to please his sister, he decided, let me drive the chariot. So Kamsa, who is ordinarily very egoistic, now he is driving the chariot. And all the people around in Mathura are not able to believe that Kansa is now doing this menial service. So Kansa had great affection for his sister. So he was taking his sister to the house of Vasudev. So as he was going, and there was drums and bugles being played and a huge procession, right in front of everyone, there is an Akashvani. Pati praghinam kamsam abhasyasara vak asyastvam ashtamo garbo hanta ham vahase buddha. So as Kamsa is driving this chariot, suddenly there is an unembodied voice in Akashvani. No one knows from where it's coming, but the voice was very clear. And in one sense, the voice didn't even address Kansa. The voice said, "You foolish rascal. The 8th child of this lady is going to be the cause of your death." Now imagine, Kansa, who is so proud, someone is calling a foolish rascal, that too not alone. It's not like a private SMS someone has sent Kansa, "You foolish rascal." It's like a public thing, it's out. And Kansa is so angry, he's not able to do anything. Now, if he wants to kill that person, but that person, he doesn't know where that voice has come from. How can you kill? So he's so frustrated, he's just not able to do anything. So Kansa is so angry when he hears this Akashvani. So here the word used is Asyatum Ashtamam Garbo. It says the 8th pregnancy. It doesn't define whether the 8th is going to be a male or a female. That is left little ambiguous, right? So when Kansa hears this, what happens? The mood of Kansa immediately changes. Iti uktva sakala papo bojanam kula pamsana bhaginim hantum abradam kadapanir kache grahit. So Kansa, he was having that reins in his hand. When he heard this, his mood changed. In one hand he removed a sword, other hand he caught hold of the hair of Devaki, about to slice her throat. So this is what? You can never trust a demon. So Prabhupada explains here, Chanakya says, never trust politicians. When they can change colors, you really never know. So this is the principle. A demon may have good qualities, but as soon as their interest comes in play, their good qualities change. Immediately changes. Yashasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarve gunais tatra samasate sura harava bhaktasya kuto mahad guna manorate nasti dhavato bahi. It says that all the devotees have great qualities, but demons, even if they have great qualities, it is only for temporarily. It is not a permanent thing. It will vanish in time. So when Kansa is about to kill Devaki, Vasudev had to do something. So their marriage day is turned into a nightmare, right? It's going to be like a death day. So Vasudev had to do something. And Vasudev is explained here as Vasudeva Mahabhaga. He is now the father of Krishna. So he cannot be an ordinary person. He is also a great soul. Who is a great soul? A great soul is one who is able to handle difficult situations. Who is able to handle all these situations. So Kansa was so cruel. Tam jugupshita karmanam nirasham nirapatrapam Vasudeva Mahabhago uvacha parishantavyam. So Kansa is described as cruel and shameless. Niramsham means cruel and Nirapatrapam means shameless. He is killing his own sister. An innocent sister, he is killing it. But Vasudeva, who is a great soul, very calmly is trying to pacify Kansa. And how does he try to pacify? These are very beautiful set of instructions. Literally the same instructions Lord Krishna gave Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. How you are not the body, you are spirit, soul. The same instructions Lord Krishna's father gave Kamsa even before Krishna's birth. So, one sense, Vasudeva spoke Bhagavad Gita even before Lord Krishna. Same sort of instructions, such beautiful instructions. And if you see the scene, both were spoken on a chariot. Krishna spoke to Arjuna on a chariot. Vasudeva was speaking to Kansa on a chariot. There was slight difference. There Krishna was the chariot driver and Arjuna was on top. Here Vasudeva is on top and Kansa is the chariot driver. But the problem is, the difference between Arjuna and Kamsa. What Krishna and what Vasudeva spoke are the same thing, no difference. But the difference is between Kamsa and Arjuna. So even if you have a great personality speaking something to you, whether we are Kamsas or Arjuna, that will depend whether we are able to appreciate the message or not. So I'll just speak. We are running a little short of time, but then 5-10 minutes? 5-10 minutes. Okay. So Vasudev ji tells Kamsa, Shri Vasudev Vacha, Shlagniya Guna Shaurer Bhavan Boja Yashakara Sakatam Bhaginim Hanya Striyam Udvaha Parvani. He says, my dear Kamsa, you are the pride of your dynasty. Is glorifying Kamsa. Right? Because demons love glorifications. He's saying you are the pride of your family, you are a great hero, your qualities are praised everywhere. But now you are killing a woman. Which Kshatriya will kill a woman? And that too, she is not a woman, she is your sister. And that too, that is the day of her marriage. Even if you want to kill Devaki, kill her tomorrow. The day of her marriage, you are killing her. In this way, Vasudev begins his teaching. And then Vasudev says, such beautiful lessons. Mrityur janmavatam veera dehena sahajayate adyavabda shatante va mrityur vai prarinam dhruva. Says, my dear great hero Kamsa, one who is born is sure to die. Jatasya dhruvam mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha. The same teaching of Gita that Lord Krishna gives to Arjuna. One who is born is sure to die. In fact, Srila Prabhupada explains here, with birth, there is one lecture of Srila Prabhupada, very heavy. Prabhupada says, when a child is born, Prabhupada says, death is born. Because when someone is born, along with that birth, death is sure. Right? Like when you manufacture a product, like we make cookies in our place, right? So in that you have to write your expiry date also. The date is manufactured, on that day only you write the expiry date. And that's how the product goes out, isn't it? So similarly, every body we may not be able to see. There is a manufacturing date and there is an expiry date. It has to be made like that. So here Vasudeva is saying, with birth, death is sure. You may die today or you may die after 100 years, but everyone has to die. Dehe panchavatam apanne dehi karmanuga vasha dehantaram anuprapya praktanam tyajaye vapu. And Vasudev says at the time of death, all the elements of the body, earth, water, fire, air, ether, they get into all their natural elements and one gets another body. So Vasudev is basically telling Kamsa, don't fear death. Fear committing a sinful activity. Because death is going to come today or tomorrow. But a greater fear that you should have is the fear of committing sin. So please don't commit sin. Vasudev ji gives a very beautiful example. He says, Vrajam tishtan badaikena yataivaikena gachanti tata trina jalo kaivam dehi karma gatim gata. He says, just like a person who walks, how do you walk? You put one foot on the ground and then you lift the next foot. Right? You place one foot ahead and you lift the next foot. So similarly, Vasudev ji is telling, before we give up this body, we already create another body. The next body is already getting created as we are giving up this body. And as soon as you give up this body, you enter into the next body. Tata dehantara prapti dhiras tatrana muyati. Vasudev ji is giving another example. Just like a worm moves from one leaf to another. How does it move? It places half of the body on the other leaf and then removes the other half, the back half. Similarly, a person creates the next body and gives up the present body. So Vasudev ji explains, just like someone dreams, in a dream you may see yourself as a different personality, but the dream body has no factual existence. So similarly, we are all spirit souls. In ignorance, we are thinking that we are this body and we get affected. So Vasudev ji is telling Kamsa, why are you getting so affected? You are not the body at all. Nainam chindanti shastrani nayanam dahati pavaka na chainam kledyanti apo na shoshayati maruta. This body is not going to die at all. The soul is not going to die. The body may have its death. So in this way, Vasudeva is trying to convince Kamsa. And he gives a very beautiful example. He says, just like You may have the moon or the sun in the sky. The reflection of the moon and sky may fall on a water body. And when the wind blows, the moon's reflection may appear elongated, may appear in different forms. But does the moon change? The moon doesn't change. Only the reflection keeps changing. But if the moon identifies with the reflection, the moon will get affected. You understanding the point? It's a very, very beautiful point, but a very deep point. So in this way, Vasudeva is trying to tell Kamsa, you are getting affected because you are identifying with this body. But you are not the body. You are situated eternally as spirit soul. Because you are connecting to the body, because the moon is connecting to the reflection, the moon feels, I'm becoming small, I'm becoming elongated, but the moon doesn't change. So similarly, because we think that we are this body, we feel scared when changes come in this material world. But when we connect to the level of the spirit, the Atma, there is no problem at all. In this way, Vasudev, I'll not continue the verses, but I'll just summarize this whole section. So Vasudev ji in this way tells Kansa that please don't do this. Devaki is your younger sister. She's like your daughter. You're not supposed to be doing this. So he tried his best. Vasudev tried his best to convince Kamsa. But Kansa is a demon. Sukadeva Goswami explains, Kansa like people, they cannot understand good instructions. He gave such good philosophy, nothing entered his brain. So finally Vasudev thought, I have to somehow save Devaki. So Vasudev thought of another way out. He thought, somehow what I should do, save Devaki's life now. And Vasudev was thinking, who knows in future children will be born or not? What the message was what? The 8th child will kill Kansa. Vasudev is thinking this is the day of our marriage. The first son is also not born, second son, third son, 8th son, long way to go. So why worry about a problem that's going to come 8 years down the line, 10 years down the line? So that's one thing, no guarantee whether children will be born. And the second thing Vasudeva was thinking was, if this Akashwani is true, somehow or the other, the 8th child will kill Kansa only. And who knows, Kansa might die before only. So anything can happen in the future. So finally Vasudeva promises Kansa, your problem is not Devaki, your problem is the 8th child. I promise you, any child that is born, I will come and give it to you. Kansa understood this. Other things he didn't understand, philosophy. This he understood. Practical thing he understood. I'll get the children. And Kansa had full faith in Vasudeva. Demon, but he had faith in devotees' words. Kansa said, "Theek hai, go home, enjoy yourself." So when the first child was born, Devaki and Vasudeva named the first child Kirtiman, who will bring great glory to the family. And Devaki is so happy seeing that child. And Vasudeva pulls the child away from the hand of Devaki. And Devaki is crying and crying and crying. And Vasudeva ji goes and comes up. So Shukadeva Goswami explains, this is a great soul. For giving birth to Krishna, what sacrifice they can't do? They can give up anything. So when Kansa actually sees Vasudeva coming with a child, Kansa can't believe. A father coming and giving the child to be killed. So Kansa's heart also melts. So Kansa tells Vasudeva, my problem is the 8th child. You please take your first child. Because ultimately this child was also Kamsa's nephew, the first nephew. His heart is also melting. So he takes the boy back. Vasudevji takes the boy back. Right at that time, I'm just fast forwarding the whole thing so that we end on a good note. So Narad Muni comes there and Narad Muni tells Kamsa, I just came from an meeting, emergency meeting that the demigods are having. And the agenda is Kamsa. Meeting agenda is Kamsa, how to kill you. And Narad Muni tells, don't trust anyone. In the meeting they have discussed, they are all taking births all around you. And Narad Muni gives Kamsa one lotus flower, which had 8 petals. And he is asking Kamsa, tell me which is the first petal. And Narad Muni goes. So Kamsa is rotating the lotus flower. He gets his answer. In a lotus flower, which is first, which is 8th? How can you make out? Anything can be first, anything can be 8th. So Kamsa brings that boy back, Kirtiman, kills him. 6 children killed one after another. And then finally Balaramji comes and then Krishna is born. So these 6 children represents the 6 anarthas in our life. Devaki represents bhakti. In order to give birth to Krishna, you have to have bhakti in your life. And in order to give birth to Krishna, you have to kill all the 6 anarthas: lust, anger, pride, greed, envy, illusion. But how will these anarthas get killed? One is the process of bhakti. Along with that, the fear of Kamsa. So Kamsa represents material existence, Maya. So fearing Maya is also very, very important. Getting rid of Maya, at least having a healthy fear of Maya. And in this way, Devaki and Vasudev, through all these sacrifices, there are 6 children killed in front of them. Finally, they gave birth to Krishna. So as we celebrate Krishna Janmashtami in great happiness, let us also remember the sacrifice of Devaki and Vasudev. We are all enjoying Krishna's presence, but Krishna's birth is there in our life because some 2 great personalities sacrifice so much for giving birth to Krishna. So similarly in our life, Janmashtami is just not an occasion where we enjoy Krishna. The mood of Janmashtami is we also make sacrifices so that we can give Krishna to others also. We can give birth to Krishna in other people's life. So the mood of Janmashtami is also a mood of sacrifice. So this is the example Devaki and Vasudev are setting for all of us. Srila Prabhupada, in this mood of Devaki and Vasudev, Prabhupada made so much sacrifices so that he could establish this Krishna conscious movement. So Prabhupada explains in this purport, the Krishna conscious movement, ISKCON, in one sense is Krishna only taken birth. Krishna has come in the form of the movement. And in order to give birth to ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada has struggled a lot. So now we have things very easy, but it's also important that during this occasion of Janmashtami, when we are reaching out to so many people, we try our best to connect more and more people to the process of Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Krishna Bhagavan.